Hey guys, Sam here and welcome to another Road to Masters video here in Pokemon Duel. Today we are going to play, hopefully, our last game in the Great Tier. And, I haven't really recorded the commentary for any of my matches because other than the first one, the rest are going to be pre-recorded because I kind of want to be more concentrated on them. Even though I'm playing against lower tier players, I still don't want to mess up. And this is the only game that I am going to commentate at normal speed because this was such a roller coaster of emotions that you guys will have to see. I will explain it further as we go into the video, right? So my opponent goes first. Right now, I'm thinking this is a bot because if he has two runners, or, I think one, there's no way that he should put, the Xerneas on the entry space. I'm like, okay, this seems really easy. He decides to advance, and this is kind of a really bad decision because now I can just hurdle jump over it and kind of force him to do something. I check his blades. He doesn't have a gold block, but he has a hurdle jump, which is, kind of the second best thing that you can wish for in this situation. No other thing can potentially block either the entry space or my Greninja, so he does go for the only move that he has at his disposal. Right there, in hindsight, I should have potentially gone to the middle just so I can threaten the goal and maybe cover the other entry space. But I put my, I put my Sceptile in my inner left point, whatever, and he puts out his Deoxys, to which I replied with my Metagross just in case he decides to attack. There's no bullshit, kind of respins. I'm feeling really confident about this. I kind of want to stealth jump, but I do get a really nice roll against the Deoxys. He goes for the miss, and this is looking so good right now, okay? I don't have another hurdle jump, but my Sceptile's stealth hit is big enough so I can hopefully land into the other, into the other entry space. I go for the Penguin, whatever, and I roll the worst possible fucking move. This was maybe one in, I guess, 15 or 20 chance. I mean, just look at the size of the 60. It has to be like 10 or 12, and my 30 was like less than 15. That was such a bad move. I give him the evolution, and right now I see the other Penguin. I honestly don't know the Prinplup. Sorry, I'm not really too familiar with with that generation. So I decide to go for the Reshiram, thinking it has a good matchup, but once again, 2 times in a row, the worst possible roll with both my Reshiram and the Prinplup. I mean, even the Fly could have been good because, he doesn't have a yellow attack. So at this point, I'm just so upset. I'm ready to give up just because of how frustrated I am. He goes for the entry space, which, I mean, you could have potentially gone right next to the entry space and make it a little bit better, so even if I have to hurdle jump, you still can attack the Metagross. I go block, he decides to go for the Venusaur. Right now he only has 1 MP Pokemon on his bench, so he decides to go for that option. Right here I decide to rush with Articuno because I really want to get to the goal space just as soon as possible, try to knock something out because I'm not, I'm not feeling confident whatsoever in this match after the luck that I just experienced. So right here, what I do is I go in the middle just so I can threaten something. He has to either move the Xerneas to, kind of surround the goal or to the goal space itself. He decides to go on the goal space, and I go for the other entry point, which is pretty good. Right there, I can hopefully, seek to attack the Charmeleon to make it a 4-on-3, which, could be pretty good. So right there, I cover the other entry point. That's pretty nice. He goes for a next attack, and he uses it on the Charmeleon. Attacks Articuno, and boom! I land the Ice Charge. Pretty good. I think I'm going to, when I get my level 5 Articuno, I'm going to change my levels from Cold Crush to Ice Charge. Right there, I activate my ability. I decide to freeze both Venusaur and the Xerneas, because this is such a good move, right? Because he can't get to either Venusaur or Xerneas, and right there I can attack either of them, and they're going to be knocked out, right? So this is a really good position for me. I, however, decide to go for the worst possible choice, and I attack... well, it wasn't really the worst possible, but I attack the Charmeleon. It makes my Articuno burnt, which is not really too great. He does go to the middle section, whatever, to unfreeze Venusaur, and right here I'm like, okay, this has to be it, right? My Greninja has a really good chance of landing an attack, and the Xerneas is going to miss. Thankfully, this is the first thing that goes right for me, besides the the Ice Charge, I decided to go for the Water Shuriken, and thankfully, this is why I carry the Greninja, by the way. The Venusaur is knocked out, so 2 for 1. You know, my luck right now is starting to turn around. I start to have some hope. I'm like, oh my fucking god, yes! This is amazing, and thankfully, or I guess unfortunately, he decides to go for the double chance, right? If I land a dodge right here, it's game over. But I only land 2 Water Shurikens. This is why I wanted to take my Greninja to at least a 25 Water Shuriken, just so I can do 25, 50, 75, whatever. And then, you know, kind of chain level up either my Reshiram or my Zekrom. So unfortunately, again, I give him the Charizard evolution, 2 movement speed. This is looking, you know, this is not looking great for me once again. Like, right now I think we've gone through maybe 3 or 4 changes of emotions. Right there, I give him, you know, oh my god, the Deoxys attack, dude. Thankfully, however, I do still have my Zekrom on the, my Metagross on the field. He lands at the Dimension Slip. I apparently can't speak today. Dimension Slip, I decided to go forward with my Zekrom, because if he moves the Gloomy, I think it's called, then, you know, I can cover the goal or the Ender space pretty nicely. So he decides to go for the attack, lands the Slippery Swap, and decides to evolve a Goomy. Okay, it's Goomy, not fucking Gloomy, whatever. Decides to evolve it into, I didn't really see the name, whatever, Sliggoo, I think it is. I go for the obvious thing to do and decide to advance with my Sceptile now that, you know, it's back on the field once again. He goes for the goal cover, and right now this is looking kind of even. I mean, even though it's 3 on 4, the Empoleon is just, I mean, it's a fucking bullshit Pokemon. I really don't want to deal with that. But I do believe in Metagross, and, you know, it's like, okay, let's try to do this. Right here, I am pissing myself. Please, please land something good. And thankfully, just look at that, dude. Look at how the Hyper Beam lands. I don't know why he tried to, well, yeah, maybe to land a dodge or whatever, or even the Ice Beam so I can get frozen. So this is like, okay, this is game over 100%. I'm not going to be able to lose this. This is so good for me right now, right? So what happens is that he X-attacks the Sliggoo, or, you know, whatever. I really don't remember the name. I do get the stealth hit, which is really good. And right now, if I land my stealth hit, this is going to be, you know, well, never mind. I guess that was game over. So as you could see, that was, you know, a pretty good match. I decided to do this commentary for, you know, because this is actually, this was one of the best matches that I've had, even if it's low rating. You know, I've had way worse matches than this where my opponent does, you know, really bad at 25 or 2600 ratings. So this is why I kind of wanted to, you know, kind of give you this, you know, this commentary at normal speed, just to kind of, you know, elaborate and whatever. I do get a really shit time booster, but I do get a lot of rating. That's so good. But the most important thing is that because of that, we do end up with the promotion, which is incredible. Alright, so this is the only game that I've played so far in my great, now the, you know, Master or whatever. No, it's not Master, it's like Ultra. So I do have to play more matches, record some more, and yeah, kind of showing that I have top 200. So that's pretty much it for this duel, and let's jump right into the next one. And we are back with more matches. Now, check it out. I am recording this back-to-back from when I recorded the commentary for episodes 2 and 3, but the past duel was recorded, you know, kind of a couple of days ago, so kind of a weird timeline of recordings. Right now, I get my first match, I believe, with a Master Tier League, and I'm like, we can take advantage of this shit to get some nice points. Decide to go for my Sceptile because I really like the matchup. If he only lands one Leaf Blade, it's going to knock it out regardless of what it hits, besides, obviously, the Shuttle Flip. I'm like, decide to go for the Keldeo, and my luck is already piece of shit right now. Now, this game was also already over, because if this bitch puts the, you know, the Keldeo on my left enter space, I have to goal block, and then it has to go for Mew. We saw this in the previous video. Why do you do this? Go for the fucking goal block. If you have this set up, this is already a free win. 2 3 MP Pokemon on those, you know, kind of spaces where Mew and the Keldeo were, go for that. It was already game over because it was going to be 6 on fucking 1. Don't fucking do that. As you can see, this person, even though it's in Master, it's just brand new to Master tier because it's just, oh my god, that was so bad. It just lets me set up all my fucking figures right at the start, going to go for my Zekrom, and then for my Metagross, even though there's not really anything for the Deoxys or Reuniclus, but just please, please, please do not do that if you have that set up. And, you know, if you are on my side of the field, don't go for fucking useless battles. I had the Articuno, even if the Keldeo attack, I can just, you know, attack this, sorry. It can just, you know, go like, peace. It rolls into the Earthquake, please. You know, since the Sceptile doesn't have a miss, I'm not worried. But my Zekrom is knocked out, and I'm so fucking sad about it. You know, it's her turn, Izzy, whatever. And, you know, this is a really, really bad matchup because if it gets knocked out by the Roar of Time, it's going to get back to the bench and it's going to get the weight 9 once again. Thanks to the new ability that they added in patch, what was it, 3.0.8, I believe it is? Yeah, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, the Virizion is the bitchiest fucking piece. This is... for some reason, I am more afraid of that piece than the Deoxys deck. Because you have to 100% dedicate 2 of your Pokemon to your what do you call it? To your goal. Otherwise, you're just like, oh my fucking god, dude. Okay, I'm gonna talk more about that later because check it out. He decided to go for the gold block, right? And I'm like, okay, so this is kind of a good matchup because he can land into the purple and Greninja can land into the water shuriken, which is not that, you know, not that great. So you get the Hydro Kick. I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. Okay, so, alright, let's go for the Metagross. There's not a lot of things that can, you know, kind of causes danger somehow. And if he surrounds my Reshiram right here, I am free to move out my Sceptile, which, you know, it's kind of a really nice thing to do. Decided to, you know, I do get a really, really nice roll. Go for the other entry point, and right now it's 3 on 3 with the exact same setup on the field. It's her turn, so he decides to go for, you know, for the attack. Gets the Rainbow Wing. I am safe once again. I'm not really sure why I decided to do this. You know, kind of get the, you know, I should have gotten the Sceptile out there, you know, just to kind of, you know, put it out there. But because this is already game over, even if, you know, it was a neutral turn, because I can't surround it, and he can't really do anything with a Ho-Oh. So, I'm like, should I BM? Decide not to. And my Greninja goes ahead and takes the win. So that was kind of an interesting match. It was already over, right? Please, please, if you're watching this video, if your opponent has two runners, and, you know, don't go for unnecessary battles. Just wait for them to fuck up. Because as you can see right there, I was just fucking lost. I do decide to open some rewards right here. I only get shit. So, you know, just back into the matches, right? Right here, I believe. Okay, so I cut one of the losses because, you know, I was super fucking salty. It was a fucking Reuniclus, which, you know, both the triple Reuniclus and my bad luck, I was just like, no, I'm not gonna put this in the fucking video, dude. That was so sad. My turn first. Obviously, the Greninja goes, you know, where he pleases. But the Reuniclus already on the field. I do kind of want to set up some of my pieces before I put out my, what do you call that shit? My Metagross. For some reason, goes for the Bulbasaur. I don't want to attack it because if I get put to sleep, it's a kind of, maybe not game over, but I'm in such a bad position because he gets my entry point. I have to move with the Greninja. He moves with the Reuniclus, and, you know, so forth, and that's already fucking bad. So Metagross right there in order to, you know, counter that already if he decides to go for the Reuniclus. Now 2 on board. This is already not looking too great. I just decided to stall for a little bit, move for my, with my Metagross to the field. I sent out my Reshiram to go for the Gardevoir because I really like that matchup. Go for the Zekrom before I attack, so if I win with the Fusion Flare, I can knock that shit out of the duel, make it 5 on 6, because this is already a disadvantage. People who use the triple Reuniclus setup are just so fucking bad at the game. I didn't get the Fusion Flare, but I do get the second best thing, which is, you know, knocking the Gardevoir out. Decide to go for the, you know, protection, whatever. I do move once again, or forward. I believe I still have my hurdle jump, which makes me kind of available to go with the Greninja if I need to. I get my Sceptile gets put to sleep, but it actually doesn't because of stealth hit, so that's pretty good. I go for what should I do? Kind of move it and wait for the Bulbasaur to fuck it up. I'm like this is already looking pretty good. I do want to go up with my Articuno because there's nothing that can surround me right now. He gets the Poison Powder, which is not that bad. I mean, minus 20 on the Sceptile is not that bad. Even if I land on my yellow attack, which it's only going to do 10 damage, it's still effective against maybe 70% of its wheel because obviously you have the miss and the purples. So yeah, that's pretty good. So let's see. Right here, I'm like, what should I do? So right now, I cannot move with my Articuno because obviously can't get surrounded next turn. Which yeah, it was all right. Oh yeah, I used my hurdle jump to get rid of the Bulbasaur, make it a 6-on-4. Even if it's 6-on-4, the Reuniclus can still do some fucking stupid ass things, and which I'm kind of worried about. But decide to go for the Overdrive on my Zekrom and kind of start advancing. Just kind of to make the board presence. Kind of make him run away, bitch. Because since you're running the Reuniclus, legit people who run that in the Deoxys deck have no skill whatsoever. It's just like making it 90 to 10, right? I do get the fly, and since it was his attack, it's like, peace! I get the win. Give me the win, bitch. Winning against the Reuniclus decks is the most satisfying thing. Against the Deoxys decks, it's not really that satisfying because if you win against a Deoxys deck, it's 100. The reason why that happened is because, number one, you had extremely good luck with the rolls, or the person you're playing against is brain dead. More brain dead than they already are for running a fucking Deoxys deck because they can't play the game properly, or, kind of, a little bit more fairly. But yeah, if you run kind of either of those decks, you're so fucking bad at the game. I'm so sorry. So yeah, next game right here against only two Reuniclus. I'm not feeling that bad about it. I'm like, alright. So, let's see. Getting the Sceptile out there. He goes for the Leafeon. This is already looking kind of bad. Decide to go for the Articuno because if he jumps over, whether on my, yeah, there we go, on the entry space or that, or there, I could just go for the Articuno with the Soar and, kind of make it, kind of good, I guess. And we will see what happens here. So I put out my, let's see, I believe it is my Metagross that I'm going to put out, kind of to maybe not counter the Vaporeon. There we go. And yeah, so this is already looking pretty bad. He could have just gone for the Vaporeon to kind of surround it, and I had to burn the the hurdle jump. I do get the fly, which is kind of one of the worst fucking things. He goes for that, and I do not see, for some reason I don't see that I am getting fucking surrounded, and I'm like, oh, please. Okay, so he does get the the thing, but sadly it's already game over. I'm not sure why I didn't attack it. That was such a fucking tunnel vision, like, oh yes, I can surround the Leafeon, but I didn't fucking notice that I was gonna get fucked up. So I'm already so sad, want to commit suicide right at this point. I'm like, wow, minus 47. Better get the rope already. But I decide to put it down, close the YouTube tutorial where it shows you how to make a rope tie in order to hang yourself. And I'm like, okay, one more game, I can do this. Otherwise, I'm just going to go fucking kind of put it in the tree and just kind of say goodbye to everything. But so this I already don't like. I mean, the Grovyle, I mean, this is so sad because I put out my Greninja right there, and I don't realize that that is kind of a free evolution for the fucking Grovyle. I decided to go for that, and thankfully I do get it. And check it out. It's I mean, no, it's not already game over because he has a fucking penguin. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I decided to check his plates. I do go for that, and thankfully, if I land a blue, please land a blue. It's already game over. But from what you can see in the length of the video, that's obviously not gonna happen. He gets the Metal Claw, gets the free evolution. One evolution Empoleon is not terrible, but it's still nothing to kind of go blindly into, like, yes, I'm gonna attack this bitch. Put up my Sceptile. I do really like the matchup against it, because if I roll double Leaf Blade, you know, it's going to be kind of good. Goes for the Phantom. I put my Reshiram on the field. Not too great right now. You know, right here I'm just like a little bit frustrated because, you know, that could have been avoided. I mean, I'm so sad. The Articuno, I'm like, oh, nice, please. I do decide to go for it once again, I believe, with my Articuno, kind of to threaten the knockout on that little figure. I'm not really sure what the name is. Knock it out, 5 on 6, I mean 5 on 4 right now, my advantage. That's pretty good. Goes for the Ivysaur, and I did not see. Now, this is the thing that you want to check out and to be aware if your opponent has an Empoleon or a Heatran, right? What they can do is just use a Scoop Up, and they're going to be able to surround your Pokemon, because you're going to believe, yes, I got the fucking entry point, but as you can see, pretty sad. Alright, Empoleon moves. I'm like, what should I do? Decide to put on my Metagross right to counter that shit. I'm like, okay, this is going pretty good, right? Move with my Zekrom. I'm like, alright, what's gonna happen right now? Kind of waiting for, you know, him to do his move or whatever. I believe that is an Evolution Phantom, which is kind of sad. I do get the knockout, which, you know, I'm not really too happy about, because obviously Gyarados is something that you do not want to deal with. So with that, I believe I'm going to advance with my... Okay, yeah, I get the Overdrive, just in case he gets the Hyper Beam into my Blue Flare. You know, I can knock him out, and it's not going to be that bad. Otherwise, if I get the Fly, it's just going to be like, okay, nice. So, he rolls a Protect. This is kind of a bad matchup, but, you know, I'm not feeling that worried, because he decides to fuck up, and I do get the Surround. I could have gotten the Surround on the Gyarados, but he decides to, you know, kind of piece it out. I do get the... kind of the knockout on the Ivysaur. I'm like, okay, this is going so good for me. You know, away from getting the Evolution Empoleon. I did decide to get the Fly. Well, yeah, I didn't decide to get the Fly. I did get the Fly, you know, thanks to that. In hindsight, I should have fucking Overdrive my Zekrom. I believe he's going to... Yeah, he's going to knock me out. I mean, that could have fucking saved me, but that didn't happen. I was like, fucking... Now he has 2 Evolutions on the field that do 100 damage. This is not looking great for me right now. It's not that bad, but still, you know, I kind of want to start pressuring. So he has to use a Sceptile on the Gold Block, because that thing, if it starts running rampant on the fucking field, it's just not going to be that great. This guy has 3 recovery plates, which are so fucking sad. Why do you even do that? I roll 140, that's pretty good. And let's see, I'm like, alright, Metagross, Fly, you know, I get the Reshiram, whatever. I decide to attack the Metagross, and you know, it ends up being such a fucking good decision right here, because now I can go for the entry space if he doesn't move the little, the Scorpion thingy. He does go for that, which is pretty sad, because now both of the entry points are open, and what I do right here is that I go for the entry space, and my Greninja, please land. You know, I'm just like, should I attack him? Should I attack him? Okay, attack him. 1. Okay, yeah, there we go. I roll into... Okay, so I thought that was going to be ending right here, you know, for my Greninja, but thankfully it didn't happen. Alright. So he goes for the smart move, does that, and boom, I get fucking knocked out. That is so sad. Because, you know, even if I landed on my blue, I had to land a blue twice in a row in order for me to kind of get that shit. You know, to surround the Empoleon. I decided to go for the Articuno before moving my Metagross a little bit, because I do want all of my pieces on board before kind of going a little bit on the aggressive side. I'm like, what should I do? What should I do? So he decides to go for the Metagross, and I get one of the dodges. Pretty good. Decide to go for the Reshiram. Okay, please. One more dodge, or please knock it out. That'd be so fucking great right now. And boom, I do get another one. So let's see. I do decide to surround it, because now the either the Ivysaur has to cover the goal. Yeah, never mind. He decides to go for the smart decision. I, however, have a hurdle jump, and he's like, oh, fuck, what should I do? I believe he's going to, okay, so he goes for, you know, kind of the imminent surround, right? but he can't really surround it, because if he does that, it's obviously game over. My Greninja with 3 MP is going to be able to take care of it. He sees that. He's like, oh shit, boy. I shouldn't say that. I sounded kind of retarded, but anyway. So let's see. His turn. I'm like, okay, this is really, really good for me right now. 4 on 3. And if he decides to go for the little scorpion thingy, it's like, okay, nice. But he decides to go for the Pokemon Switch. That was a really good move. Because, obviously having the Gyarados on board rather than the fucking, the little thing is just, like, kind of sad. I go like, oh, nice, but you fucked up. And now it's 2 on 4. And this is already looking so good for me. However, the thing that he can do is just go for the, what do you call that shit? The Greninja. I don't know why that happened, because right now I can't get to the goal. Should have attacked the Greninja and kind of hoped to get some pieces on board. That didn't really happen. Gets a stealth hit, and I believe next turn I decide to, kind of slowly but surely advance with my Metagross. He decides to go once again for that thing. I do get the Fusion Flare. I don't have my Sekrom, so I didn't really, land on it, but it's already kind of game over. 99% game over, because if I land something neutral right here, fuck. What happened? What happened, dude? Decide to once again move slowly but surely with my Metagross. What he can do right here is just go for the Greninja, right? And just go like, fuck, dude. Alright, but thankfully, I do get... Oh, and by the way, the audio kind of muted. My recording thing kind of fucked up a little bit here. I was like, should I BM? Meh, just win with the Greninja. That's pretty much it. And those were some matches in the Ultra thing, the Ultra tier, whatever. I do get another orange booster. Kind of sad about it, but it is what it is. Free pieces, free ingots, rares, rare metals. Sorry. And yeah, so right now 211. Been a while since I've played at when I started recording this shit. And right now I am 37-4. Still a pretty good score. But that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this gameplay. Do decide to open the fucking booster. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more Pokemon Duel.